Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Emily English Daily, where learning English is easy and fun. I'm Emily.
Hello, Emily. Hi, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here with all of you for another empowering conversation.
Today, we are talking about something that can change the entire direction of your life.
Yes, we are talking about job interviews, and specifically how to answer the most common questions in clear, confident English.
Oh, that is such an important topic. Job interviews are stressful in any language, but they are especially nerve-wracking in a second language.
Have you ever frozen when an interviewer asked you to tell them about yourself?
Yes, so many students have told me that exact story. They open their mouth, their mind goes completely blank, and they just say, "I am a hard worker," and that is it.
Exactly, and that is not enough. In an interview, you need to give detailed, structured, confident answers.
Well, don't worry, because today we are going to fix that together.
By the end of this episode, you will have a complete formula for answering the 10 most common interview questions in English.
And don't miss the full mock interview practice at the end. It is going to feel like the real thing.
So, Emily, where should we start? What do you do before the interview even begins?
The first step is preparation. You should research the company, practice your answers out loud, and prepare a professional outfit the night before.
Yes, and on the day of the interview, give yourself extra time so you arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. Punctuality is the first impression.
Arriving early is so important, and when you walk in, smile at the receptionist and say, "Hi, I have an interview at 10 o'clock. My name is Tom."
That is the perfect opening line. Now, let's talk about the small talk that happens before the interview officially starts.
Yes, the interviewer will usually offer you water, ask you how your day is going, or comment on the weather. Just be warm and polite.
You can say, "Thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to be here." Or, "I really appreciate the opportunity to interview today."
Those are perfect. Now the interview begins. The interviewer will usually start with, "Tell me about yourself." This is the most important question, and you need a clear structure.
Exactly. I always recommend the present, past, future formula. Start with your current role, mention a key achievement, and end with why you are excited about this new opportunity.
For example, I am currently working as a marketing coordinator at a small tech company. Before that, I spent 3 years in sales where I was named Employee of the Year. I am now looking to bring my skills to a larger company like yours.
That is a beautiful answer, short, structured, and confident. What is the next common question, Emily?
The next common question is, what are your greatest strengths? This is your chance to shine.
You should pick 2 or 3 strengths that match the job description. For example, "I am a very organized person and I always meet my deadlines. I'm also a strong communicator and I love working in teams."
That is a great example. Notice the specific examples. It's not enough to just say, "I am good at communication." You need to prove it.
Exactly. And the opposite question is, what are your weaknesses? This is where people get nervous, but it's actually a great chance to show self-awareness.
Yes, the trick is to mention a real weakness, but show that you are actively working on it. For example, "I used to struggle with public speaking, but I've been taking an online course and I feel much more confident now."
That is a brilliant answer. It shows honesty, growth, and self-improvement.
Now, the interviewer will ask, "Why do you want to work here?" This is your chance to show your research on the company.
You can say, "I've been following your company for the past 2 years and I really admire your commitment to sustainability. I feel like my values align perfectly with your mission."
That is such a powerful answer. It shows you care about the company, not just the job.
Exactly. Another very common question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is your chance to show ambition and loyalty. You can say, "In 5 years, I hope to grow into a senior role where I can mentor new team members and contribute to the company's long-term goals."
That is a great answer. And what if the interviewer asks, "Why did you leave your last job?" This can be a tricky one.
Yes, Always stay positive. Never speak badly about a former employer. You can say, I learned so much at my last company, but I am now looking for a new challenge and an opportunity to grow in a different direction.
That is so professional. Now, let's talk about how to structure longer answers using examples.
Yes, the STAR method is a great tool. It stands for situation, task, action, and result.
For example, if the interviewer asks, "Tell me about a time you solved a problem at work," you can say, "In my last job, we had a major client complaint. I was asked to handle the call. I listened carefully, I offered a full refund, and we ended up keeping the client for 3 more years."
That is a perfect STAR answer, specific and memorable.
Now the interviewer will ask, "Do you have any questions for me?" This is very important.
Always say yes. You should have at least 2 or 3 thoughtful questions prepared. You can ask, what does a typical day look like in this role? Or, what do you enjoy most about working here?
Those are great questions, and you can also ask, what are the next steps in the hiring process?
That is a very smart question. It shows you are serious about the role. Now, let's talk about how to end the interview gracefully.
When the interview is wrapping up, you can say, "Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed learning more about this opportunity. I am very excited about the possibility of joining your team."
That is the perfect closing, and after the interview, send a thank you email within 24 hours.
You can write, "Thank you again for the opportunity to interview today. I really enjoyed our conversation and I look forward to hearing from you soon."
That is so professional. Now, Tom, I think it is time for us to slow down and look at our pocket words.
Everybody, it is time for our favorite vocabulary spotlight, pocket words.
These are 4 super useful words from today's interview episode that you can put right into your mental pocket and use in your next job interview.
I am ready, Emily. What is our very first pocket word for today?
Our first word is candidate. Let's say that one more time for the ear.
Candidate.
A candidate is a person who is applying for a job or position. It's the formal word for an applicant.
For example, you could say, there were over 50 candidates for the marketing position, but only 5 were invited for an interview.
That is a perfect example. What is our second pocket word, Tom?
Our second word is resume. Let's repeat that together.
Resume.
A resume is a written document that lists your work experience, education, and skills. In British English, it's called a CV, which is short for curriculum vitae.
Right. You might say, please send me your updated resume and cover letter by Friday.
That sounds so professional. What is our third pocket word today, Emily?
Our third word is qualified. Let's say it again.
Qualified.
Qualified means having the right skills, education, or experience to do a particular job. If you are qualified, you meet the requirements.
For example, she is highly qualified for this role. She has 10 years of experience and a master's degree.
That is a very impressive qualification. What is our fourth and final pocket word, Tom?
Our fourth word is hire. Let's repeat that.
Hire.
To hire means to officially give someone a job. It can also be used as a noun to mean a new employee.
You could say, the company plans to hire 10 new employees this year, or I am so happy they hired me on the spot.
Those are 4 incredible words that will help you navigate any job interview with total confidence.
Now that we have these great words in our pocket, Tom, let's polish up our sentences.
Oh yes, it is time for our next fun segment, Smooth It Out.
This is where we take a simple learner sentence and upgrade it so it sounds much smoother, more natural, and just like a native professional.
Curious. Let's look at our first learner sentence today. Imagine the interviewer asks what you do and you say, "I am a worker in the office." How can we smooth that out?
I am a worker in the office sounds very general and informal. It doesn't tell the interviewer what you actually do.
To sound more professional, you can say, "I am an office administrator," or I work in administration at a software company.
I am an office administrator. That sounds so much more specific and professional.
It really does. What about describing your skills? Some learners say, I am good at English and computers. How do we upgrade that?
That sounds a bit too simple. Let's smooth it out to, I have strong communication skills and I am very proficient in Microsoft Office and data analysis.
I am very proficient in Microsoft Office. That sounds so polished and confident.
Exactly. And let's do one more. What if a learner is asked why they want the job and says, I want money?
I want money is very direct and not very impressive in an interview.
Let's smooth it out to, I am looking for a role where I can grow professionally and contribute to a meaningful mission.
I am looking for a role where I can grow professionally. That sounds so mature and thoughtful.
Yes, small upgrades like those make a huge difference.
And now it is time to put everything together.
That's right, everyone. It is time for our real-life, slow practice conversation.
In this dialogue, Tom and I will role-play a realistic job interview for a marketing position. Notice how we use today's phrases, structures, and pocket words in action.
I will be the hiring manager and Tom will be the candidate. Let's listen. Good morning, Mr. Silva. Thank you so much for coming in today. Please have a seat.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. I really appreciate the opportunity to interview with your company.
Great. So why don't you start by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Of course, I am currently working as a marketing coordinator at a small tech company. Before that, I spent 3 years in sales, where I was named Employee of the Year. I am now looking to bring my skills to a larger company like yours.
That is impressive. What would you say are your greatest strengths?
I am very organized and I always meet my deadlines. I'm also a strong communicator and I love collaborating with cross-functional teams.
Wonderful. And what about your weaknesses? That's always a tough one.
I used to struggle with public speaking, but I've been taking an online course for the past 6 months, and I feel much more confident now.
I love that honesty. Why do you want to work at our company specifically?
I have been following your brand for years, and I really admire your focus on sustainable marketing. My personal values align perfectly with your mission.
That is wonderful to hear. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do. What does a typical day look like in this role? And what do you enjoy most about working here?
Great questions. In this role, you would be leading campaigns across multiple channels, and I personally love the collaborative culture here. It feels like a family.
That sounds exactly like the kind of environment I am looking for. Thank you so much for your time, Ms. Taylor. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you for coming in, Mr. Silva. We'll be in touch very soon.
And cut. Wow, Emily, that was such a strong and confident interview.
Thank you, Tom. And to all of our amazing listeners, see how a clear structure and a few key phrases can completely transform an interview.
You don't need a perfect accent or complicated vocabulary to land the job. You just need clear, honest, structured answers.
That is the absolute truth. You're going to feel so much more confident in your next interview.
Thank you so much for spending your time learning with us today.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to Emily English Daily, give this video a big thumbs up, and leave us a comment telling us your best interview tip.
Keep practicing your English every single day. Go land that dream job, and we'll see you right back here next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.